Hi, Paola. I hope I said your name correctly. I'm Amy and we're in class, and I'm just responding to your response for discussion number 3. And this is the topic is creating a toolbox of strategies. And I liked how you set yours up, and I did mine the same way, but I like that even though we did it the same way, the same setup, you had different resources than I did. So I'm going to share some of mine and talk about some of the ones that you put on as well. The first one, setting high expectations for all students. Now, you talked about setting up the same expectations for the students. Do you mean that all students in your classroom, no matter what their level, they have the same expectation, or do you plan on setting individual expectations for the different students who are at different academic levels? Because I think obviously if you have a lower student and then you do have a higher student, they don't have to necessarily have the same expectation, but giving them expectations and goals to meet is so important, and it gives all the students something to work towards. I suggested teaching growth mindset, and with a growth mindset, then they want to meet the expectations. So I really liked your response on that, how setting goals for all students to exceed and meet performances. That's very important. The next one is student participation. It is so hard sometimes, especially at the beginning of the year, when you don't know your students very well and you don't know who's shy and who's more outgoing and who likes to do videos and who just likes to type. So finding activities to start the year just to gauge the participation is so important. I like the prompts. If you can find out what the students are interested in, not just what the teacher, they don't want to talk about just the things I'm interested in. So if I can, just kind of find out, take a little survey, have them write down things that they're interested in and making them into sentence prompts, we can break the students up a little bit, and then they can talk to each other who have similar interests. And then we can separate them and find students who have a completely different type of interest and have them talk as well. Come back into the group, and hopefully then we can get all types of students to engage in a class discussion. I think being able to use prompts and visuals and giving the students different ways to participate other than just raising your hand is so important, because you do have those students who are just so shy and they're nervous and they're just not confident yet. But if we slowly build that confidence up by giving them different ways to participate and engage, then we're going to see a huge difference as the school year goes along. All right. The next one, you talked about classroom management. So important. Without classroom management, it's really hard to implement any type of lesson, strategy, role, anything. I used classroom management also when you talked about organizational procedures for instruction. I talked a lot about classroom management there too. We need an organized classroom, physical space. You need your lesson plans to be organized, but you also have to have an organized classroom management plan as well. Without that plan, the instruction that you have painstakingly planned will go nowhere because it's just chaos in your classroom. I just want to see, I like how you use you have your personalized lesson plan, the calendar. I have a calendar by my desk. I have a handwritten one. I have sticky notes telling me to remind me, to keep me organized. There's so many different ways to be organized in the classroom. I think that resource that for the toolbox is just absolutely endless. I don't know if you're teaching or not, but if you are in a classroom, what types of ways do you keep yourself organized? Like I said, I use sticky notes, and I have my dry erase calendar. Across my desk, I have a regular calendar. On my desk, I have a calendar that I actually write on daily. And of course, sticky notes. All right, the next one you talked about is the specific procedures for transitions. And I put in my post that having successful transitions gives me so much extra time in my classroom for instruction, transitions are tough no matter what age you're dealing with. Um, you know, it can be fun. And if we let ourselves be silly and have fun, our transitions can be fun because then we get the students' attention because we're being silly and they're going to want to watch us and they're going to want to participate and be silly too. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could just be a quick, funny song. You can use bells, you can set a timer. I always say during a transition, I always say, be as quiet as the sunshine, because the sunshine is quiet. You can see it, you can't hear it. So whatever the transition activity is, they have to do it as quiet as sunshine. And they like doing that as well. So what type of tips or successful transitions do you know? Have you used? Would you like to share them? Because like I said, transitions are difficult for anybody. So I was just kind of wondering what you had to say. I want to just kind of go back through the notes I wrote. I know, like you said, everything that you said is so important, but now we just need to find ones that work for us. Sometimes what I have might not work for you, and sometimes what you have will be my new aha moment. So I thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us, and I wish you luck the rest of our course. Thank you. Bye-bye.